This right here is more than an A plus. It's an A plus plus. It can't get no better than this. Giving Saquon Barkley the franchise tag on March 7th was everything that you needed to do right there. All right, Giants fans, welcome back to Big Blue Red Blue Podcast. We're gonna dive into all the free agency moves from the Giants. It's been a crazy March Madness because of NCAA. No number one seeds, no number one teams no more. But this is still a Giants podcast, so let's jump right into all the free agency moves. I pretty much think the Giants are done for now on, but let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with our own team and who we signed and who we let go. First up was, as a big move, was Isaiah Hodgins. Look, Isaiah Hodgins came on in the middle of the season last year and absolutely put on a fucking show. Took people's spots, to be honest with you. Kenny Galladay couldn't even see the field no more because of him. I mean, phenomenal talent. Phenomenal player, phenomenal teammate, worked his ass off, was on the bench with the Buffalo Bills. Absolutely great signing. We signed him, I don't know the deals, but we signed him on February 16th. That's an A-plus move from Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. First of all, it's an A-plus move to go find him. It's an A-plus move to re-sign him to another deal. Then we also renegotiated Gerard Davis's deal. Look, Gerard Davis, he got on real late with the Giants, so I can't put too much pressure on him as far as how he performed last season, but just wasn't really all that good, especially in the Eagles game and in the Vikings game. They started to pick on him. He's a linebacker. He's more of a depth linebacker than me, but we'll see what happens this upcoming season. Maybe he could show us something. He got a lot of pop to him. That's what I like about him. He could bring that thunder, but he gets lost in space. Watch the Vikings game in the playoffs last year. He was absolutely lost. And then Eagles game, nowhere to be found. Decent move for depth for Joe Schoen and Daboll here. I'll give it about a C. This right here is more than an A plus. It's an A plus plus. It can't get no better than this. Giving Saquon Barkley the franchise tag on March 7th was everything that you needed to do right there. Obviously, they're not going to go a certain number with Saquon Barkley, which would, look, I understand he's a running back. He's going to get hurt. I'm okay with that, but they did the right thing by tagging Saquon Barkley to a $10 million deal. That's fine with me. Saquon Barkley, to me, should get a long-term deal. I know people say, he's a running back, he'll get hurt. I don't give a fuck. Saquon's different. And he's our fucking team. He's our leader. We went as far as Saquon could take us last year. That stretch of when we lost like 4 games in a row and tied against the Commanders, Saquon was just off. And I think he was a little tired, to be honest with you. It was a long stretch, hard games. But when Saquon's off, this team's off. We need Saquon every bit to be Saquon, to be any type of good on this team. So tagging him is more than an A+. It's just completely outstanding. Good job. Also, March 7th, we renegotiated and re-signed Daniel Jones. Now, look, I love Daniel Jones. I really do. Good leader, good work ethic. First one in, last one out. Type of guy you want in your locker room. He worked his ass off from being the rookie he was when he came in 4 years ago till he is now. I mean, he's going to put his shoulder down into you and try to run you over. Love all that about him, but we overpaid him. Make no mistake about it, Daniel Jones is not a $160 million quarterback with an additional $35 million on top of that as far as incentives goes. He's just not that. Me personally, I would have said test the market, see what you could get. Because I don't believe there's a lot of teams that are willing to pay Daniel Jones $40 million. I think he's a $30 million quarterback. So technically, I think he's 4 years, 120, in my opinion. And if you want to throw the incentives on top of that, then that's fine. But he's not a $40 million quarterback. How much I love Daniel Jones, his production can be replaced. Like, let's not get this shit twisted. 15 touchdowns ain't crazy. 3,200 yards through the air is not crazy. He did have a lot of yards on the ground, I understand that. But that might be hidden yardage where he could have threw somebody open, but he's not seeing the field right. I don't know. That's not crazy production, though. So, I'm going to give Daniel Jones, I'm going to give Joe Schoen a C on this one. Not because he re-signed Daniel Jones, because the contract he re-signed him to. Now, I do like $85 million guaranteed, which was what was reported. But still, 160 is just too much, in my opinion, for him. So I give that a C. Then we re-signed guys like Breida, our punter, Gillian, our long snapper. I mean, these are good players. They're not going to make or break your roster, really. But these are good players, especially Breida. I think we should give him the ball more, especially late in the season, to take some pressure off Saquon Barkley. I'm okay with those moves right there. Not really a gradable move, but I'm okay with them. Staying on course with our own players, we re-signed Sterling Shepard. I didn't see that coming. I think, personally, Sterling Shepard's kind of cooked. A lot of serious legs injuries. Did not like re-signing him, and I love him as a player and as a leader and as a locker room guy. He's all that. Love that. But he's just kind of cooked. He's very injury prone at this point, made out of glass. Like, I was shocked that we did that. I wouldn't have done it, but I'm okay with it, I guess. From a vet minimum standpoint, I see what they're doing there, but I just think he's too injured at this point. But we'll see. Darius Slayton, I do like Darius Slayton. He's a number 3 though. I think we gave him 2 years, team friendly deal. He's gonna get you 700 yards. He's not gonna be consistently good enough to get a long-term deal. He hasn't showed that in 4 years, but I'm okay with him being our number 3. He'll get us 700 yards. That's okay with me. Now let's start with our outside the organization pickups and free agency. Move of the all season, in my opinion, was Darren Waller. Like, let's just be honest, there's no number 1 wide receivers in this free agency class right here. We just ain't got it. And not only that, our roster is so depleted, I don't think a number 1 wide receiver is necessary right now. We have holes, some serious holes in this roster. We're talking guard, center, guard, free safety, and some linebackers, and another corner. We just couldn't go spend money on a wide receiver because we needed a number 1 wide receiver. No, just there's not a wide receiver. There's not a true number 1 wide receiver out there right now in this free agency class. So Darren Waller will be our number 1 target, in my opinion, if he can stay healthy and if he's committed to the process. What I liked about Joe Schoen and Dayball is they brought a lot of guys in that were committed to the process and committed to the team. That's what we brought in last year. This team was not really talented. Let's not get that shit twisted. This team was not talented, but they brought in a lot of people that brought into the system, and that's how we got to the playoffs, and that's how we beat the Vikings. Everybody bought into the system. So if Darren Waller buys into the system because a team first type of player, excellent pickup. And if he can stay healthy, excellent pickup. This was a Kadarius Toney for Darren Waller type of trade right here. Pretty much what it was, which is kind of like an injured player for an injured player. So I don't know. I'm going to give this move a B+ if it pans out right. If it doesn't, then you already know. Kind of was a bad pickup if it doesn't pan out right. But I love the pickup. I love Darren Waller. I love what we're going to do with him. Him on one side, Belly on the other side, 2 tight ends sent. Man, you can't stop that shit. You cannot stop that shit. Darren Waller is really unstoppable. Darren Waller, when healthy, is the 3rd best tight end in the league, maybe 4th, but he's a fucking beast. Bobby Okereke. I mean, we need a stud linebacker. Haven't had one since Antonio Pierce. So he comes with the thunder. He comes with the boom. He's not a great linebacker when it comes to pass coverage, but we needed a linebacker, period. 4 years, $40 million. That's a good contract. And I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. He hit Daniel Jones in the head. He did some good things when he played against us that last game of the season. By the way, I was there. But yeah, we need a linebacker. Our linebacker room is complete ass. It's been complete ass for years. So this was an obvious upgrade. I'm eager to see what our rookie last year does this year after tearing his ACL. So be on the lookout for him. And hopefully, honestly, we draft a couple linebackers because we need it. This linebacker room is trash. Then we got a couple picks here that I really don't understand. And that's because our wide receiver room is deep at slot position. Like, we have a bunch of slot receivers right now. We had Wan'Dale Robinson, Sterling Shepard, obviously. We already know about that. Then we signed Jeff Smith, signed Jamison Crowder, signed Paris Campbell. I think Jamison Crowder, Jeff Smith is for depth purposes. But again, they're all slot wide receivers. I don't really understand that pickup there when we are struggling to find a wide receiver on the outside. The strength for this team is kind of in the middle, and we already knew that. Wan'Dale Robinson, I feel like, is going to be a good player. Sterling Shepard's coming back, but again, they're injured. So we don't really know what they're going to be able to do at the beginning of the season. But then you get Jamison Crowder, which is already kind of hurt anyway. So we don't even know what he could do at the beginning of the season. So we just kind of picked up another injured player that plays the same position as everybody else on this team. We got a bunch of slot guys on this team and not a bunch of number one wide receivers outside. And yeah, this free agency class was not deep at number one wide receivers. I understand that. But we need a bigger body wide receivers that can stretch the field, not more shifty, quick guys. We already have a bunch of those. So not sure about that one. I'm going to give that a move a C, honestly. And it could be like a C minus because there's so many cooks in the kitchen and they kind of do the same thing. We don't need all those guys. Then we picked up a defensive tackle, a rotational defensive tackle, Nacho from Tampa Bay Bucks. He's more of a run stopper. He's more of a run stopper, not a pass rusher. But that's what we need. Our running game was getting destroyed last year. So Okereke and Nacho is really going to stir up the middle of that defense to go along with Dexter Lawrence and Big Cat. Again, Big Cat needs to get his contract restructured or look for a cut of Big Cat next year. Then we signed a cornerback out of Duke, Leonard Johnson, another, I guess you could say, depth pick at corner. We were really hurting for good corners last year. Adoree Jackson is our only good corner. So we got a lot of depth picks here at cornerback. We got Leonard Jackson, like I said. We also have a cornerback that came from Detroit Lions, Amani. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. I'll fuck it up. But he's just another depth guy. So this roster, like I said, is filled with holes: guards, center, corner, safety, linebacker. So in the draft, I already know where we're going. We have to go corner as well. I'm okay with picking the corner in the first round. That's how depleted we are at that position because Adoree Jackson is getting kind of old and he's on the last couple years of his deal. I think this year coming up his last year of his deal. So we got to fill that position and I don't think we're going to re-sign Adoree Jackson next year. So we got to replace him as well. So our cornerback room is real thin. And then a sneaky pickup, we picked up Bobby McCain from the Commanders. He's a pretty good safety. I'm looking for Dane Belton to step up into that role because Julian Love is now with the Seattle Seahawks. So this is another depth pick. He could also start because obviously we've seen him start before. He's okay. He's not bad. He's not going to flash off the screen. He's going to do everything right. He's going to be a position smart guy, smart football player. But again, this is more just for depth purposes, in my opinion. We really need, if Dane Belton could step up, that's fine, and that's what we need. But we're not going to spend a lot of money at safety. But we also need a true roamer back there that has a lot of range, and we really don't have that right now. Now, on March 23rd, we got another depth piece at tight end. Tommy Sweeney came from Buffalo Bills. I think I like this a lot because now we could run 3 tight end sets. And don't forget, we got Lawrence Cager, and I really love Lawrence Cager. Honestly, he's like a Darren Waller to me. If he could put it all together and put some size on him, Lawrence Cager could be a fucking beast at tight end. I love Lawrence Cager's upside. I love Lawrence Cager's upside more than any tight end we got on this roster. But again, he got to know how to put it together and really get some weight on him. He's kind of light in the ass right now. So, but back to Tommy Sweeney, just another depth pick. I'm pretty sure he's a good blocker. I'm pretty sure he got decent hands, but he's not going to be starting over Waller and Bellinger. Those are 2 starters. So this is more of a depth pick, special teams type of guy. I like to pick up. So overall, I think Joe Schoen was smart with the money this year. And I think that's a trend that you got to continue to have. What he's going to do is bring in leaders, locker room guys, vet minimum salary type of guys who are hungry to prove it again, who are hungry to get another chance at a big contract, which I'm okay with. But when there's a talent deficit like we have now compared to like the Eagles, then when you get the results like the Eagles beat the shit out of us 2 games out of 3 last year, but ultimately swept us, then you understand why. We really got to start filling out this roster with some real talent here soon. It's not going to be this year. It'll probably be next year as a lot of contracts start coming off the books. Kenny Galladay, Big Cat Williams, Adoree Jackson. Those are your big cap eaters right now. So as soon as those numbers start coming off the books, I feel like we're going to start adding more talent here, especially in the O-line. We need to get this O-line fixed. It's been 4 long years since our O-line has been any type of decent, and we haven't fixed it yet. Probably even longer than that. I mean, it's been like 6 coaches. We haven't had a good O-line since Coughlin. So we got to fix that up. But overall, I'm going to give Joe Schoen about a B minus C plus. I don't like how many slot receivers he brought in, and I also don't like Daniel Jones' contract. But he's bringing a lot of depth. I understand what he's trying to do. It's going to take a while for this team to get built the right way. We might make. I'm pretty sure we're going to make the playoffs next year, but I don't see us going to the Super Bowl with this talent It's just not a talented roster yet. It's going to take time. We're getting there. I like what he's doing. The foundation's being laid. He's not going to go crazy and spend a bunch of money on those guys in free agency. He's going to build through the draft, and that's where he needs to make his money. He needs to make his money on the draft. So we'll see how that goes. Last draft class was pretty good. I liked it. This draft class, hopefully, could do better, and we build the right way. So I'm going to give him about a B minus, C plus. Not bad. But Giants fans, tell me what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe as always. Tell me in the comments what y'all think. What's the grade y'all give Joe Scheon? Like I said, I give him a B minus, C plus. What y'all giving him? And as always, Giants fans, this is Big Blue Red Cool Podcast. Zeke, I'm out. Peace.